Hello, my name is Will Evans. I work here at Purdue Recwell as a wellness coach.
And my name is Ryan Witt, and I'm also a wellness coach here at Purdue Recwell.
And in this video, we're going to be discussing the wellness topic of sleep, how to keep it consistent, routines, things to avoid when going to bed, and things to try to accomplish before bed and waking up.
So what's a good way to have good sleep hygiene? How do you prepare for those kind of big three?
Yeah. So we'll start with the first one, like before bed. One of the biggest things you can start earlier in the day is avoiding caffeine. We have a general rule of try to avoid caffeine past 3 p.m. if you can, right? Because caffeine can stay in the system for up to 6 hours, right? So it can really affect your ability to fall asleep well at night. Nicotine and alcohol as well. Nicotine's a stimulant, it'll make it harder to fall asleep. And alcohol, some people are kind of confused by that. And why not? It makes me sleepy, it makes it easier to fall asleep for some people. And while that's somewhat true, not technically. Alcohol is a depressant. It's also a sedative, right? So you can kind of, in a kind of humorous way, equate it to if I were to tranquilize an elephant, they would be sedated, not sleeping, right? In the same way, we're drugging ourselves with a sedative, so we are sedated and not getting quality rest, right? Research has shown that alcohol really creates fragmented REM sleep. It makes us wake up more often during the night, and it stops our body from doing a lot of the restorative processes that usually happen during qualitative restorative sleep, right? So besides avoiding those three things, caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol, you can also use light to kind of train your body when to go to sleep. Our bodies are still very much programmed to get sleepy or to become awake based on light in our environment, right? So one thing you can do is to, in a kind of sneaky way, trick your body into thinking the sun is going down even when it may already be set, right? So if you have overhead light in your room, just turn all of that off and try to use dimmer, lower lamp light. Because what happens when our bodies realize that light is going down, we start to produce melatonin, which helps us fall asleep. But when our bodies still think the sun is high in the sky, we are not producing melatonin, and so it's harder to fall asleep once we get in bed. Other things to do is set the temperature in your room to a good level. Most studies fall in a range between 65 and 70 degrees. And then finally, do not be on screens or phones in bed, because we just talked about light. Even though you have all the lights off in your room, if you have this mini sun right here in your face, you're just still tricking your body into thinking, oh, that's still light, I should be awake, right? So that is before bed. What tips do you have about, okay, it's time to climb into bed, how should I have best prepared to get a good night's sleep?
Yeah, so I have a lot of clients. Probably my number one complaint from clients when they come in is, Ryan, I'm not getting good sleep. And the first thing I ask them, is your phone right next to you? Do you have the TV on? And that's typically, yeah. So I know on iPhones, at least, and Android, I would assume both have capability to look at your screen time throughout the week. And I've had people come in between 4 hours of screen time to almost like 8 hours of screen time. So if you're watching this video now, take out your phone and take a look at what your screen time is throughout the week, and it's pretty crazy. And I would assume that a large majority of that screen time is right before bed, especially for college students. And now with this new online format, or things might get pushed back further throughout the day, I would think that we're probably going to see a lot of people, not having great sleep routines.
It's interesting you mentioned class schedule shifting, and that's something I hadn't thought of before, right? But I think most professors do usually try to set like a due at 11:30 or midnight kind of guideline on online discussions. And I think they do that as a way just to give you as much time as possible. But if you're not careful, I think what a lot of people do, this is what I did, I use that as like, well, I have until this time to turn it in. So even if a lot of your assignments are transitioning to online, it doesn't mean you have to wait until midnight to turn them in. You can still consider your sleep a priority. Turn those in, even if it's just an hour or two earlier, that's still an hour or two earlier that you're getting to bed.
You might have a planner, or you might have a dry erase board that you write down all your assignments, writing down a different deadline. So if it's due at 11:30 or midnight that day, write down that it's due at 10 in the morning that day. Try and get it done before, so you're not waiting until it's almost time to go to sleep.
Right.
You're just mad typing your essay. So.
Yeah. Now let's talk about everyone's least favorite part of sleep, which is waking up and having to climb out of bed, right? What tips as a coach do you have for clients on how to start your morning off well?
First thing is do not hit the snooze button. I see people who have 100 little alarm clocks on their phone and they're just scrolling through and clicking each one.
Yeah.
One thing, I have a lot of people who say, oh, it's so easy, it's right next to me. One thing that I do is I actually put the phone on the other side of the room. So it's loud enough I can hear it. I have to get up, I have to go to it.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that I do. Try and get some water in your system, get up, kind of get the blood moving. Those are some things right away. Turning the lights on. I know you said light as a way to kind of trick the body into knowing it's time to go to sleep. It can do the same thing as tricking the body to know it's time to wake up.
Right.
So turning on the overhead lights like the sun has just come up would be another really good tip.
Right. And getting breakfast too, right? I talk to a lot of people, a lot of clients, and they say, well, tell me about your breakfast, right? And I say, well, I'm not really a big breakfast person. And I like to make the distinction of your personality may not be a breakfast person, but I guarantee you your body physically wants breakfast, right? Like you need fuel to keep going. And I'm not saying wake up, make a gourmet breakfast of, eggs, bacon, muffins, biscuits, whatever. Grab a granola bar, grab something that give your body the energy it needs to kickstart your day. So those are the big three, like you mentioned: before bed, getting into bed, waking up in the morning. Let's talk about finally the importance of sleep consistency, right? So we kind of know that we should get about 7 to 8, maybe 9 hours of sleep at night. But what if I want to go to bed at midnight one night and wake up at 8 a.m. one day, but then I go to bed at 8 o'clock the next night and then wake up even earlier? Does that count, even though I got 7 to 8 hours each night? Is that consistent sleep, or what does that mean?
No, that's not consistent sleep. We want to try and keep around an hour to an hour and a half between, when we're typically going to sleep to when we're typically waking up. Trying to keep those around the same point is really important because we can't get sleep back. So I hear a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm going to sleep in over the weekend to catch up on sleep. There's no catching up on sleep. You're just kind of changing your routine even more when you're going into the next Monday.
From a kind of scary perspective, a lot of kind of correlational studies found that doing that very thing, trying to catch up on sleep on the weekend, is actually an increased chance for like obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, other things, as compared to people who got too little sleep, right? So, which is very sad news for a lot of us, because you may think, oh, it's Saturday, I finally get to sleep in. Well, actually, that may be just as bad for our body physically as undersleeping. If you want more resources on sleep, you can check the description below this video to find some more tips and tricks.